So, starting on into part 10 here, we're just basically going to have a giant rumble all the way until we get to the next part in the caverns. So, it's essentially just going to be an action-packed gauntlet until we get to that point. There will be a few jump cuts. Well, not a few, but there will be one noticeable jump cut just because I got lost. And nobody wants to see me wandering around for 10 plus minutes. But we just have the standard slayers and marksmans here. Not really too much. We do have shotgun shells in the back of the truck to our right, so that is why I'm just going to town with the shotgun. Besides being, like I said before, the usual crowd control weapon, it's also just really powerful in its own right. So, using the shotgun here is pretty advised, just because the amount of marksmen they're going to send your way is going to absolutely suck. That, and you can hear the regeneration noise now, so we do have to be aware if we don't dismember things that it has a chance of reviving after the fact. Again, just one of those mechanics where it just kind of happens and you have to be on the lookout for it. But we will take very good use of this tree in the middle of the courtyard here, because it is our best cover. But as said before, the shotgun, really good crowd control weapon. So anytime we see the marksman square up and start being ready to fire, we definitely want to just shoot them with the shotgun in any way, shape, and form. Because even if a one pellet connects, it'll stop them. So it's really handy. And we do have a reload of shotgun shells back in the truck. There's actually 2 boxes of shells, so you get 60 here. So it does come in handy. We basically just want to use the shotgun because we can go through a full thing of shotgun here. I do end up using the Tommy gun since we've depleted all of our shotgun ammo just to try and save a little bit more shotgun. You never know when you might need the crowd control. But yeah, after that, we've basically cleared everything. Don't really have anything that we can do with the hole there, so don't really worry about it. And we're just going to kind of check out this courtyard. But we will need to deal with the bus to send it through the gate here in a second. So the bus is just one of those weird little interactions that we can do. We have to shoot out the wood block behind it, and then it'll just roll through the gate, opening up the next area for us. It's not like one of the modern games where it gives a whole bunch of indicators that that's what you need to do, but it's pretty much the only thing in this particular area, so it kind of insists that that is what you do. So it's okay with that, because we can't go through the door and we can't really do anything else, so the bus is kind of the obvious option. But after that, since slayers can't really follow us to the next area, I just kind of opt to go over the bus. Wasting ammo isn't really a thing in this game. You get so much abundance of ammo that you never really have to worry about it too much. Like, the bigger thing is just not getting hit by everything under the sun. Otherwise you'll run out of health, but even then you still have a ton of health. The second game really ended up fixing that in a whole lot of ways, because you actually can't carry extra health and you get a lot less ammo for weapons, so you're finding yourself constantly switching. Which I have played through the second one and it has been uploaded at this point, so that is also available to see. But yeah, the second one, they really delved into the having to kind of manage a little bit better.
Escaping isn't as simple as just getting outside. But I don't need to tell you that. There's no real escape.
And Hermes being a weird bastard as always. Of course, we've been outside a few times at this point, so we kind of know that whole spiel about getting outside isn't the escape. Plus, we are on an island, so, you know, we kind of need to escape the island to escape it all. Carnate, about the realest thing it can be compared to is Alcatraz, where that is also an island prison, and escape was damn near impossible. If not impossible, so. But here we just have the Infernas setting the gate on fire. We'll get to them in the next part, but for now, they don't really come and do anything. They just kind of foreshadow themselves a lot. Infernas are probably the most annoying enemy in this game, at least for me personally, just because they have really fast movement and can deal a lot of damage very quickly. But now we have some marksmen. We're just gonna quickly take care of them. Since there's only 2 of them, it's not that big of a concern. And we do have plenty of cover, so very much not concerned with the marksman. But now is actually where I do get a little lost at this part. I do go and get ammo and weapons and stuff, but I'd actually forgotten where the way was at this point. But if you look along the cliffside, there is a little cove area. I'm not exactly sure if that's what you'd call it, that part, but there is a little like alcove that you can go into along the edge of the cliff. So it would be a jump cut at that point. Nobody really wants to see me running around looking like an idiot with my head cut off for 10 plus minutes, so. But yeah, I eventually found it. It kind of gives you a hint like, hey, there's a way down there, but you need to pay a little slight bit of attention, like right here. If I just looked left, that is the way to go. But for some reason, I just never did for like 10 plus minutes, like I said. Not one of my brightest moments, honestly. Non-linear level design is going more and more out of style, and I am getting worse and worse at it as it goes. But yeah, as soon as we hit that jump cut, we'll just go down and go across to where that truck actually crashed in the cutscene, because then we can get our flamethrower. Because we need the bike pump that ended up at the truck, we can get that. Not really sure if there's a time you can get the bike pump sooner or not. I would assume that you can, but at the same time, I'm not 100% on that. And you can actually interact with these Inferna. They don't really do anything. I don't know if it's just a broken like trigger or anything, or they actually need to be shot at to interact with you. But yeah, if you shoot at them, they will actually interact, laugh, and run away. A little interesting. Again, hate those enemies. Absolutely terrible. They're just super quick, super powerful. Don't die if you kill them once. You actually need to destroy the ashes that come from them. So, and I figured I'd have the brilliant idea of jumping over the fire. As you can tell, that was a really dumb idea. So yeah, now I'm just kind of trying to put everything together and where to go. And eventually I just ended up jump cutting, and yeah. I found the alcove, just decided that was a good start point, not waste everyone's time with me running around for more time than necessary. But we'll just follow this little cave along the cliffside here. And instead of just immediately going forwards, we're going to go to the right here and down. Because this is where the truck crashed, there's actually a bunch of supplies down here, along with our bike pump. So that gives us the flamethrower. Don't really use the flamethrower a whole lot. Ammo is kind of scarce, honestly. At least that I know of. I never really got a whole lot. But it is a pretty decent weapon. Just Molotovs in flamethrower form, essentially. So it can do some pretty decent work. I think it's probably the one weapon where I didn't get a whole lot of ammo for it, so that was kind of disappointing, to say the least, but it was still a pretty decently fun weapon to use. Although it does burn through ammo, ironically, really quickly. So we won't be seeing a whole lot of the flamethrower, but yeah, the shotgun we will be seeing a ton of. And again, if we have extra zombium, there's not a whole lot of reason to not use one to grab another if we have any health missing. Because more often than not, we're not going to come back for it. At least not in sections like this, where it's just like an off-the-beaten-path place, not like the middle of the prison where we go to a couple times. And again, just the reviving enemies, have to be on the lookout for them. If we don't dismember them, then they just come back. We do have an interesting story point section coming up here that has to do with the marksman in particular.
Jeopardizing the lives of my men. For honoring your homeland over your new country. Enough! Weapons to the ready. Take aim!
So the marksman in particular, because this was a corporal punishment kind of place, they did have firing squads, and they still actually have the stakes that the marksmen were on at the point of their execution, which actually is pretty cool in how the marksmen work. They're probably my favorite enemy designs. They come up at their execution posts and then break free. But you can also see that they're like blindfolded, full of bullet holes, a bunch of other stuff. They just have really cool designs. Like everything about them is oozing with some lore. I do wish there were some kinds of variations to them at the same time, but they are really cool. And in the second game, they actually take on different appearances because you're not in the same area with the whole corporal punishment, you know, marksman, military kind of outfits. They actually take on like goggled appearances and look like street people because you go to Baltimore. So it is kind of interesting in that regard. There I actually should have probably taken those pills by the turret because I am missing some health, so that was a boo-boo. But we're going to be going on to the next part. We'll be seeing, he sounds like LeVar Burton to me, honestly, but we'll see him in the next part.